Don's back on the road this morning. He left Kodak, Tennessee, which is just east of Knoxville, a short time ago. It's just after 8 here, 8 a.m. East Coast time, which is the time zone he's back in now. He didn't realize he was going to have a choice. He just assumed he'd be taking I-40 home. But the car and the maps also, or I guess the Google Maps on his phone or the car popped up this northerly route up through Bristol, Tennessee, which is where there's a supercharger, and then back down through Mount Airy, which is where there's another supercharger, and then, of course, Greensboro and home. So he's decided to take that northerly route because it's going through Bristol, and he hasn't been to Bristol before, and it's only a 14-mile, 5-minute time difference. So he's going to go that more northerly route. He's had coffee and he's chipper. The car says he'll be home at 1:43 p.m. Google on his phone says he'll be home at 1 p.m. The car is telling him a 20-minute charge in Bristol and a 20-minute charge in Mount Airy. He's thinking he'll probably do a 10-minute stop in Greensboro too, because he'll want to use the restroom. So if he's home before, let's say, 2 p.m., we're going to consider that a success. It's pretty out there this morning, some light fog, he says. And like I said, he's had his coffee and he's chipper. Also, I was looking overnight at TeslaFi, and the car lost 7 miles overnight while it was sitting at the hotel. So it was 7 hours and 20 minutes he was actually at the hotel. That's about what we were expecting, because yesterday's TeslaFi number showed he lost just over 8 miles overnight, and it was a number of hours. Now, he is running Sentry mode, and he's in a busy parking lot at a hotel, but he says he didn't see any Sentry events. So, but obviously there is some cost associated with running Sentry mode. So, the main thing is, did he arrive at the hotel with enough charge to get him to the next supercharger, which he assumed was going to be Asheville, but is now Bristol? And the answer is yes, he has plenty of range to have made either one of those superchargers, and all is good. So he'll be checking in with me again when he gets to Bristol. Don made excellent time to Bristol. It's 8:49 a.m. and he's at the supercharger. So it looks like another equal distance stretch up to where he'll pick up 77, and then similar stretch back down to Mount Airy. So the next leg will be slightly longer than the current leg. Over here on TeslaFi, let's take a look. Go ahead and refresh the page. It'll probably make me log back in. I wish it would not time out so much when we're home on a known computer at the very least. So what I've been doing is I've been coming into each of these items in here and making them look pretty. I've been putting Tesla supercharger and the city name. Sometimes there's a suggestion that matches and sometimes not. I've also been coming in and I've been putting a supercharger icon on it. It's really easy to do. And then when we come out, that's the pages I've been showing you guys, it looks prettier. So if we look at this stretch, we can see this is where I've been getting the map data from. Just shows that pretty much that straight line on 81 up to Bristol. And also we can see that stretch was 91.17 miles, and that Don had 100% data accuracy. So he should have had good cell service on, or at least the car had LTE service on that stretch. His efficiency, though, is 83.3%, and that's probably due to this elevation. See, he started out at 890 feet above sea level, and it looks like he's up close to 1,860 feet above sea level. So he gained 826 feet. So when you're climbing elevation in the mountains, that will reduce efficiency a little bit. And I guess that driving distance was 1 hour and 18 minutes. Like I said, it was just a little over 91 miles. His average speed was 71, which is about what you would expect. The speed limit there was probably 65, and it looks like he passed somebody one time. So it will give me a full Tesla supercharger record for the Bristol supercharging stop, but it won't do that obviously until he has stopped charging. I know it said he started at 8:48. I told you guys in the last clip that he was supposed to stay here for 20 minutes. And this is saying estimated completion time is 15%. I'm sure the car, if we're looking at the screen, is saying you need to charge for 15 more minutes in order to reach your next destination. That would be what you would be seeing in the car. So anyway, he's making good progress. So Don is just at the point where Interstate 81 hits Interstate 77, and he is fixing to get on 77 and head south down to the Mount Airy supercharger. He said the mountains are just gorgeous today, and he was wishing I was there because I would just be loving taking pictures and enjoying the scenery. We're talking about maybe making a trip with Johnny to Mount Airy and Pilot Mountain sometime this fall because A, see the leaves, and B, it's basically a drive that we can do and be pretty socially distanced. And with Johnny's love of the Andy Griffith show, he wasn't with us the last time we went to Mount Airy, so we're talking about it anyway. A little something to look forward to for the fall. Don says in Mount Airy, he's going to plug in the Greensboro supercharger. He's going to use the restroom, and basically he should be just ready to leave after he uses the restroom. He wants to get out again at Greensboro and just use the restroom and get some tea. So he's definitely on this fast charging today. The Mount Airy and the Greensboro supercharger are, of course, well known to him because we've been there before. So at least twice for Mount Airy, and a handful of times or better for Greensboro. So one other thing I wanted to show you was at the Bristol supercharger, he was there for 17 minutes, but there's a but. He was not happy with the location of that supercharger because it was in a shopping center in what he called the high rent district, and it wasn't laid out like a grid. There were all these curves and buildings close together, and you couldn't really see. And he had trouble finding a place to use the bathroom. So Don said he wants every Tesla supercharger to be at a gas station, so he has access to a bathroom 24 hours a day and access to at least convenience food, because due to COVID in particular, because it was normal business hours for most restaurants when he was there this morning. It was like 9 o'clock or something. But he had trouble finding a place to use the bathroom, and the Chick-fil-A wouldn't let you come inside, and there were some other places there that you couldn't go inside. So he finally found a McDonald's, and he went there to use the restroom, but he you didn't like having to do that. And he said basically if he didn't have his unicycle and he had to walk to all those places to try to find a restroom this morning, he would have been super upset. As it was, even on the unicycle, it wasn't particularly convenient, and he had a ton of restrooms. So he's not into these Tesla superchargers that are at shopping centers. Now, I'm sure families looking to eat dinner and they want a dining experience. They probably love superchargers like that. But when you're on the road and you're just really trying to get from point A to B, a Sheetz or a Wawa on the East Coast here, he likes that better. So he was also talking a little bit about, he was sitting in the car one time and the car had stopped charging and he didn't know. And I think I've been with him one time before and that happened too. And I told him when he gets to Mount Airy to make sure he's got notifications on his phone, because I sure as heck know he's started and stopped charging. But maybe maybe his app currently has notifications off. So he's going to check that. But he wants the car to make a chime. When the car is done charging, he wants a specific noise associated chime that says the car is not charging. It's either not charging because it was interrupted charging, or it's not charging because it's done charging. In case you're sleeping in the car, you want to know. Because he said, you could set an alarm on your watch, but then that's something you have to do outside of Tesla. It would be nice if the car handled it. And number two is, sometimes it says I'm almost done charging, and or that you would just be setting it based on the time the car told you, but that the car could go on for an extra 5, 10, or 15 minutes depending on how things are going. So it would just be better if the car handled it. Just assign a unique chime to charging complete or charging interrupted, and please allow the driver to decide if they would like to hear that chime or not. So that was a suggestion he had for this morning. But everything's going good. He's had his caffeine and he's very animated on the drive today. I was in and out of the Mount Airy supercharger really quick. He was there for a whole, get this, 10 minutes. And then he headed on out to the Greensboro supercharger. He just routed there because he wanted to make that third stop. So that went pretty good. You can see here the full trip from Bristol to Mount Airy here on the map, just out of Tennessee into Virginia, and then back down into North Carolina. Here's the state boundary in case it's hard to see on the video, the little dotted line. And he was going to make one more comment, just that was an hour and 50 minute, 127, basically 128 miles, 94.3% efficiency. It is listing costs in here because TeslaFi has some structure for trying to figure out what the cost is at the superchargers. But I did confirm last night in the Tesla account that that Jules is using our free supercharger miles, and that Don has not had to pay for any of his supercharger stops on this trip. Supercharging at the Greensboro supercharger, and he has about a 90-minute drive to the house. That's a very well-known route for us. He's really trying to see if he could make that 1:43 p.m. guesstimate the car gave him when he was leaving Kodak this morning, although he did add in the stop in Greensboro, which is probably on and off and everything, let's just say 15 minutes rounded out. So we're going to consider it a success, I think, if he gets here by 2. I think he's going to be here. Let me see. My guess is 1:52 p.m. Anyway, he was at Greensboro for 8 minutes, just long enough to use the restroom and get onto the house. He did not have to stop. He had enough charge to come from Mount Airy to the house. Let's take a look at the map between Mount Airy and Greensboro. It's just kind of a southeasterly drop down from near the Virginia border, which is this dotted line, through Winston-Salem and over to Greensboro. He was on 52, so he did go past Pilot Mountain, that place we were at last year with the beautiful view. And Don and I did travel to Mount Airy one time before. It's the home of the Andy Griffith Museum, and it was a lot of fun. So let's see, anything else we want to see about this stop? I don't think so. So far today, Don has traveled, waiting for it to update. Thought it was going to give me the update up there. Yeah, so he didn't put in a lot of juice. He wasn't there long. All right, it's drawn the other stuff up here on the side. So far today, he's driven 295 miles, 91% efficiency. He should be gaining efficiency now because he's coming downhill in elevation here in the blue. You can kind of see that he's coming downhill. So he gained back 177 feet. That time on the previous leg, he gained back 124 feet. So, and it will be moving toward the coast as he comes home. The elevation will be dropping even closer to sea level. So his efficiency should be good. But I like these little summaries up here where it sort of tells me where he was and how long he was there. These summaries on the side of the screen in TeslaFi are really helpful. So supercharging time today, total charging time from coming from Kodak, Tennessee, which is again just this side of Knoxville, was 35 minutes. I don't think that's bad at all. He's been in the car, time driven 4 hours and 21 minutes. I just heard the driveway alert. It's 1:45. He missed the car mark by 2 minutes. I'm sure he's going to be very pleased with that result. Well, there comes that very quiet electric car. If it wasn't for the driveway alert, he would definitely sneak up on me. I can see we're going to be getting bugs off the front of Jules. That's called road warrior. Definite road warrior stuff, sentiment there. Hello.
Hey there. 1:45.
I know. I said you missed it by 2 minutes, but you added on an extra stop.
That's right.
I know. So you did awesome.
Good.
As you guys know, we use TeslaFi in both Ruby and Jules. And TeslaFi gives a great daily summary of your supercharging and miles driven and watt hours per mile and a bunch of other numbers. But if you want to have like a trip summary, you kind of need to combine things from several days. And Don has put together a spreadsheet with the summary of the whole trip, and he's going to tell you about it.
Right. I'm particularly interested in calculating what the average mile per hour is, which includes basically from the time I left home till I arrived in Cape Girardeau at the hotel. How many, what was the duration, the wall clock duration of that? And then the same thing coming back when I left EVTV, which is where I had left Jules during the funeral, and, drove to the hotel, and then I got up the next morning from the hotel and drove to home. I'd like to know what that total wall clock time was. So I took the times of basically the beginning and the end of each day, minus the little bit of gyrating around, parking and a few other things, but just dealt with the duration. And the first day I drove or charged was a total of 14.7 hours. The second day was 9.68 hours, and the third day was 6.28 hours, for a total of 30.67 hours duration. That duration, along with the total miles driven across the 3 days, was 1,608.32 miles. That's the green column. That gave me an average of 52.4, average mile per hour, 52.4 for both the going and the coming. Also on that, I averaged the 3 watt hours per mile. So I got 271 watt hours per mile on a performance Model Y with 21-inch Uber wheels. The total time spent charging, actually plugged into the supercharger, charging the car, was a total of 4.33, which is basically 4.5 hours. And the actual time driving the car was 25.85 hours. So if you take the charging time and the driving time and add those together, that comes up to 30.18, which matches very closely with the 30.67 total duration. There's only a half an hour difference in those two numbers. So anyway, Teslafy keeps a good track of it, and I think it's well worthwhile. Because as you've seen from the various different images Marion has put in, it draws the maps and keeps track of all those details, when you stop, when you start, and things like that. So I think Teslafy really makes a difference if you want to know about your trip. And I really appreciate Marianne taking all the time to collect all this stuff together and wrap it up into a video. And I look forward to doing other trips, but I certainly want my sweet pea with me next time.
Aww.
Yeah.
And we did go in and finesse Polar Steps, so all the steps have all the stuff they're supposed to have in them now. Johnny helped me feed everybody this morning, but they're looking for a little more attention. Johnny went and let Tux out of the crate. He did okay last night. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They'll be back. Tux seems to be resting comfortably. You got a thing for me saying hi to the other cats, don't you? Nighttime. Hi, honey. Could he possibly be any more adorable? We're gonna call this the Healthy Kid Starve Your Mom to Death lunch. It's a chicken leg quarter with all the meat pulled off, heated up, mammoth cheddar cheese, bacon bits, and half an avocado with garlic salt and ranch on the side. I actually didn't work on R2-D2 yesterday, but I think I got enough time to put bag 6 together before Don gets home. Not that I have to get it done before he gets here, but give me something to do for the last hour of his drive. I just heard the driveway alert. It's 1:45. He missed the car mark by 2 minutes. I'm sure he's going to be very pleased with that result. Well, there comes that very quiet electric car. If it wasn't for the driveway alert, he would definitely sneak up on me. I can see we're going to be getting bugs off the front of Jules. That's called Road Warrior. Definite Road Warrior stuff, sentiment there. Hello.
Hey there. 1:45.
I know. I said you missed it by 2 minutes, but you added on an extra stop.
Right.
I know, so you did awesome.
That was like, what was it, 400 miles?
Yeah, something. Yeah,
so
it
was within, estimating that was with supercharging stops. The navigation on the car was within 2 minutes when it first told us when we would arrive. And truthfully, I would have probably been here 2 minutes ago, except for I screwed up getting to the Greensboro supercharger. It's really tricky coming from 52 over that way. I ended up, I made the exact same mistake one time when you were with me, and I made it again, and I ended up going west when I should have been going east, and so I literally had to, yeah, it was a mess.
It couldn't have been too much of a mess. You're here in near...
Well, it cost me my 2 minutes.
I'm sorry. Give me a kiss.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you.
The other thing is, it was accurate about the charge.
Yeah.
It said it was going to be like 18%. I think it's 17.
Look, listen to that quiet car. I love it. Even if Don wanted to deal with the car, It's too hot and it's too sunny and it's going to be cooler tomorrow.
I would tell people, get them a unicycle.
Yeah, Don said he used it at pretty much every supercharger stop to get over to the restroom.
Right. I mean, like the sheets, the ones at Sheets was the only ones I didn't use.
Right. In Greensboro, you're really close to the door,
and,
but
Mount Airy. But yeah, if it wasn't at Sheets, I used the supercharger.
the unicycle.
The unicycle, that's right.
Don was saying he never put on his helmet, bad boy that he is, and it was just in his way, and he's probably not putting it in the front next time because he had to keep moving it. He had the unicycle up here, the helmet, and the cooler with water bottles in it.
Oh, it's got
ice in it now.
Well, that's right. That's a good one. And the coat hooks work great. I had no trouble.
Don said the coat hooks worked great. His suit, shirt, and pants were hung up.
Hangers. And they're the big ones.
Yeah.
Well, they're not the little skinny shirt hangers. They're
right.
They never fell once. And I mean, I was bouncing around a few times and stuff like that. So I was concerned when I hung them up there. I said, that doesn't seem like much of a coat hanger. But I would say it worked very well. Leg 6, step 6 is complete. I've got 7 over here ready to go tomorrow. It's the 2 actual shoes, feet, that go on the bottoms of both of these arms. Don had a nap. And you know he wasn't going to leave Jules looking like that very long. I said I wasn't sure if he was going to do today or tomorrow, but he said today. So he's working on it. I'm going to go play my pogo at the environmental park and then get us some dinner cooked. Nobody here but me. It's 86 degrees. I've got my pogo done and I'm headed back to the house. Johnny will be leaving for his father's house shortly. Looks like a nice clear night. Did you get all the bugs off? Yeah, they came off really well.
Okay, good to know. I wasn't really worried, but good to know. Wouldn't want to leave them on there for a month and then try to get them off.
No,
yeah. Yep. Yep, like you said, yay, no more bugs.
Yeah, that ceramic spray-on stuff from McGuire's, it seems to, you know, I just put the second coat on the other day.
Right.
And that stuff's slick. That's all I can say. Stuff doesn't stick well to it.
Well, it's good you put that on. You didn't know when you were putting it on that you were going to be driving
no, I didn't.
1,600 miles
Right.
or better, but it worked out good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go inside and look at your dash cam video, both the Tesla dash cam and the dash cam.
Right.
And see if I can pull out a couple clips for tonight's video.
Right. You bet.
I got ribs cooking in the oven.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm getting hungry.
Won't be a problem.